for, yeah, pretty much just interviews. I might set it up so that my wife uses it because I think this is a little easier for her to understand than OBS. But we'll see. We're gonna try. It's an experiment. It's a trial. It's a trial today. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I thank you for your support. And yeah, we're live now. So a couple things that we're going to be getting into today is we are going to obviously discuss the Super Bowl halftime show. Obviously, I'm not going to be like all the other pundits and cover it on Monday. I'm late, okay? I have a life. I have children. I can't stream Sunday, Mondays. That is family time. But I do want to talk about it because obviously it's, it's still a little relevant. Even though, yeah, Super Bowl did happen on Sunday. It is pretty much old news already. People have moved on already, which is fine, actually. I'm not really mad about that. It should be pretty forgettable. But there are some things that I want to lean into while kind of sharing my thoughts on Super Bowl, specifically the halftime performances and the Turning Point USA's competing halftime performance featuring Kid Rock. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some of the response to the Turning Point halftime show, and we'll talk about your favorite conservative influencer, maybe Candace Owens. Yeah, we're going to talk about her because she's a gem. She's the gift that keeps on giving. Every day I feel more and more confident that the Daily Wire was absolutely 100% correct about Candace Owens. They're totally vindicated with each passing day. This woman is a soulless demon. And I don't say that lightly. She's a soulless demon. And yeah, so we'll discuss. I owe some people apologies because some people tried to warn me, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I think Candace is one of the real ones, But the longer you watch, the more you're like, oh yeah, no, total grifting scumbag. So yeah, we'll discuss that. We're also going to discuss how weed causes psychosis. This is a drum that I've been beating for a very long time. I've known this actually for years, since 2010, I believe. So I've known this for a while. It was a counter argument I had for a while, but when you have people that are habitually smoking pot, they just don't want to hear it. You could offer them the most compelling evidence in the world, and they're not going to want to hear it because that could have been a disaster. Because the it messes it up. Okay, we're good. All right. What? No. How do I? What? Okay, I'm very confused. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Add to stage. What about, no, I just want this smaller. Can I make it smaller? Can I make it? Bear with me, guys. What is going on? Oh, wait, let me do this. All right. There we go. But I want to invert it. There we go. All right, there. That's good. All right, so we're good. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to have to do this then, because you can't mess at the studio while you're using the studio. So let's just... All right, we're good. We're in business. Whew. Man, I'm going to need more water. More water. All right. So just some housekeeping notes. I have a baby right here. I'm going to try to refrain from bringing my baby on stream and just rock him gently if he starts fussing. He's fed. He's changed. He's good. He burped. Did all the things. I'm a pro dad at this point, so he should be chill for at least an hour. And if I can get through the hour, we'll be good. So he should be chill for at least an hour, unless I start spurging out or something. I wake him up, which very well could happen. So we'll see. Okay, so we are going to just get into it because I am on a time crunch. This is the life as a dad. You got to figure out innovative ways to get your streams in. I need to get my streams in. And I'm not going to let my son prevent me from doing that. He's just going to learn real early on. This is what daddy does. And he's going to support my dream. Go, Dad. Okay, I will. I will, boy. I will. All right. So let's get into this. So we are going to talk about the halftime show. Gotta say, I was not enthusiastic about the idea of the halftime show since I found out that it was going to be Bad Bunny headlining. And I don't have I'm not a fan, but I'm also not a fan because I've never actually listened to him. It's just not my cup of tea, and the one and only reason that I think this halftime show was a huge mistake is because the guy speaks Spanish the entire halftime show. This isn't like Shakira, with her Spanish accent. This isn't like Pitbull. Like, this guy does the entire thing in Spanish. He speaks nothing but Spanish, and that's just not American. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, that's not our native language. So that alone is enough for me to be like, this is a bad decision. I don't care how popular he is with the Hispanics. When, you have a large swath of your audience who can't understand a word he's saying, well, that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to have that person as the headliner for the largest event in, a sporting event in the world, honestly. So that definitely rubbed me the wrong way. And I was already aware that the guy was a degenerate, because I've seen the the images of him cross-dressing. So you're not speaking our native language and you're a cross-dresser. All right, like that's enough for me. Like, based on those two things alone, I don't need to know anything else about the guy to know that this is not a show that I want to watch. This is not something that I want to subject myself or my family to, which, by the way, remember that families are watching the Super Bowl. So when they are having families watching the Super Bowl, they should be having guests that are family friendly performing the halftime shows. Or if you are a degenerate, then maybe for the sake of the halftime show, tone it down. All right, tone it down. Present it in a way where it's friendly to families, which is not what he does, by the way. And some people could be like, "This was wholesome. This was family friendly." No, it wasn't, you degenerate scumbags. It was not family friendly. When you have twerking and grinding or whatever of any sort, that immediately stops it from being family friendly. So we'll discuss that. We'll play the first clip. So we're going to switch modes here. Boom, we're now in this mode. So, okay, let's play this first clip. This will just give you an idea of what this halftime show is about. And YouTube's probably going to pull this. So if I lose you on YouTube, well, YouTube's gay. And come on over to Rumble and watch me over on Rumble. Okay, so you have all the basically predominantly Hispanic country flags in the background, and they're all very proud of their own countries. Yet you're here in America, so maybe drop all those flags of your foreign nations and hold up the national flag that you should be proud of. And if you're so proud of your other countries, and this is something I've gone on before, if you're so proud of your other countries or territories or whatever, go live there. Why are you here? I just don't get it. I don't get it where you're so um, you care so much about your home country's culture that you left it. Like, then go there, go back, go home. No one's stopping you. So that annoys me. That annoys me. And obviously, there's no even English subtitles, which is annoying. Thankfully, in this particular clip, he's only doing whatchamacallit, only saying the names of countries. But that gives you an idea of what this halftime show is about, and people are calling it riveting. They're saying that this is like just a great high energy. Maybe it was that, but I just get the feeling that not everybody felt that way. That this wasn't a shared feeling by the people in the crowds. I get that sneaking suspicion that not everybody was enthusiastic about this halftime show, as they want to lead us to believe. There's an image of the halftime show where there are people literally just standing there, and they look bored. they look unimpressed by anything that's happening. I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick. I cannot find this clip. There are times where I add things to my favorites and I think it's there, and then it's not there. It's not there, and I don't get it. I'm trying to remember if I can remember who shared it. I can pull it up. But yeah, so there are stills of people just looking unimpressed and bored, and I find that very funny. That they talk about how this is high energy, but yet there are people there that are just like, meh, this is boring. They're not impressed, and maybe they're like me and they're watching this thing and they're like, what the hell is this guy saying? What is he even going on about? Here's another clip. We'll just play it. And this is a comparison of the Turning Point USA halftime show, which is featured by Kid Rock, or Kid Rock was headlining it. I don't know, which one feels more American right out the bat? Now, some people too are criticizing the Bad Bunny one because it wasn't made it wasn't, man, my desire to use OBS and my Stream Deck is like, I just keep reaching for my buttons. I keep reaching for my buttons and I can't press my buttons. But some people, man, what did I say? I lost my train of thought. Dang it. Oh, yeah. That this wasn't made, that Bad Bunny's halftime show wasn't made for the people in attendance at the NFL. It was made for everybody watching via their phones. That is like a music video. And I think, yeah, that's actually true. because and maybe that's why the people in the audience look so entertained, because he wasn't there to entertain them. He was there to entertain the rest of the world, not the actual people that showed up to the NFL or just like or the Super Bowl, which is just like, if you're gonna put on the performance, entertain the people in the crowd. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a clip. I got it. So this is how entertained they all looked. Uh-huh. So they're just generally, they are not impressed, okay? They are not impressed. This does not amuse them. And I can't stop doing it, guys. I can't stop pressing my buttons. All right. But then they go on to say that this is wholesome. I don't know, guys. You tell me. Was this wholesome or not? Yeah, wholesome. Bumping and grinding, and looks like homosexual antics over here. Very wholesome. Very wholesome. Something you definitely want the kiddos to see. Yeah, no, it's degenerate. All right, and we are sick and tired. This is what I'm sick of with the halftime shows. Is degenerate. I don't actually care if people rap. I care that the rap is degenerate. I care that the pop stars are degenerate. I care that the Latino singers are degenerate. I care that every act that they have on is degenerate. The last non-degenerate halftime show I remember was Coldplay. And that might have even been degenerate. I don't even know. But I just remember watching it and being like, oh, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah, but I haven't seen anything since. That might also be coincidentally the last time we had a white guy headlining the NFL or the NFL, the Super Bowl. So the degeneracy is actually one of the reasons that I believe there was even an appetite for an alternative halftime show to begin with. It's not because we're racist. It's not because we hate Spanish people. It's because we hate the degeneracy. All right, we watch this with our families. It's my same contention too now, by the way, with the ball drop. I can't watch the ball drop with my family anymore because every time, the past 2 years, they show a homosexual kiss, and yeah, sorry, not showing my kids that. It's disgusting. So now maybe Turning Point needs to come up with an alternative New Year's show, because that's sick. I can't. I don't want my children seeing that anymore. I would totally tune into an alternative New Year's ball drop ceremony somewhere else, and where you actually see the ball drop and it's not panning to, homosexuals making out. I would prefer that. So we will see. I was, from the little, the clips and stuff that I've seen of Bad Bunny, not impressed, and it was just as degenerate as I expected it to be. Big shocker, but what else could you expect? But Turning Point did something that I think is incredible. They built a viable option to rival the Super Bowl halftime show. And people didn't think that it will work. People thought it would be lame. But, it now has millions and millions of views. So it sounds to me like their halftime show was a massive success. So we will play this one clip because it did headline Kid Rock. And we'll play this one clip, and then we'll talk about it, because I do think this was beautiful. Oh, you can't hear it. Let's see here. What is happening? Start screen share. Okay, here we go. Let's try it. Let's try it again. Okay, let's see here. All right, you should be able to hear it now, KMD. I'm gonna switch things up. We'll play it one more time.
There's a man who died.
All right, we should be good. Tell me if there's any issues. I'm playing around with Rumble Studio, so.
You can give your life to Jesus, and He'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, until you can, until you can. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, until you can, until you can, until you can.
Now, I'm not a big Kid Rock fan, all right? He's not somebody I say I listen to regularly. There's some songs that I just know from, just growing up. But he did put on a pretty good show. Am I going to say it's as high energy as the Bad Bunny show? No, I don't think so. But I'm okay with that. I'm trying not here to do this thing where we pretend like something is better than it was. But this was not a bad show. It wasn't the greatest show in the world, but it wasn't bad, and it wasn't degenerate. All right, it wasn't this. All right, it wasn't the same degeneracy that we're getting exposed to over and over and over again. Oh, and it was in English, which is a bit. If you need any reason, that alone is enough for me. The Turning Point halftime show was in English. We could understand what they were saying, and that's great, because we live in America, where we should be, appealing to the native citizens here and speak in their native language. I don't get it. I don't understand. And that's why you have people, looking like this during the halftime show. Oh yeah. Just. I don't even know what he's saying. I don't know. I'm not down with it. But I am overall happy, though, that Turning Point did massive numbers for this show. I mean, massive numbers. They crushed it. Now, did they do NFL numbers? Of course not. Of course they wouldn't. They're not going to. They're competing with the Super Bowl, okay? It's just not realistic to expect them to pull in 150 million views, but they pulled in, I think, like 40 million views. Yeah, here it is. We'll pull this clip up real quick, because this is crazy, and this is why it was a huge success for them. Wow, Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show surpassed 20 million views on YouTube with 40 to 50 million across all platforms.
Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show hitting over 20 million views on YouTube, with Turning Point reporting between 40 and 50 million views tuned in across all platforms. Headliner Kid Rock joining Laura Ingraham to tout the show's success and to discuss why he chose to perform his cover of Cody Johnson's Till I Can't.
I knew they wanted to have a program that's great on, family and faith and great music. And I did it to honor him and his fans because he wasn't able to do it. So I said, well, he's going to have a lot of fans. And let's try to play one of his songs.
Since his performance, Kid Rock's cover skyrocketing to the top of the iTunes charts, topping Bad Bunny's DTMF in the original version of Till I Can't is number 3. And those are your headlines, guys. Interesting how that shaped up.
Well, I guess the people have spoken.
That Kid Rock song is so good. Carly, you heard it? It's so good. You have to download.
Yeah. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy. And you know what? Turning Point has needed a win because they've been under non-stop scrutiny. It's been one thing after another, and we'll get into that. But they deserve to win, and we need to remember what they're ultimately about, all right? This is an organization that is committed to following the teachings of Jesus Christ. This is an organization whose founder was a Christian, was a man of God, whose chief aim in life was to make heaven crowded, was to advance the gospel, was to be the hands and feet in Jesus. His last work ever written, this book that I have right here, Stop in the Name of God, is about honoring the Sabbath and deepening your faith. And that's not a plug. I'm reading through the book and I'm just moved by this man and what he was willing to do. This is his organization, and his wife is at the helm now. And we can't forget what happened. We can't forget that leftists murdered him. They shot him to death in cold blood for the whole world to see. And I'm just very thankful that Turning Point put on this halftime show to compete with the godlessness in this world, to give people something wholesome and faith-based. I think it's beautiful. And they did, toward the end of the halftime show, they did this tribute that I just thought was very moving. So I'll share that with you right now. The TPUSA All-American Halftime Show was so incredible. Charlie would have absolutely loved it. Thank you to the millions that tuned in. I'm so proud of our entire team, staff, and the artists who believe in the vision and mission. Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, Gabby Barrett. It's okay to love Jesus and your country. Ultimately, this is what it's all about, making heaven crowded. I love you, Charlie, baby. This is all for you. And that's from Erika Kirks. And this is the tribute. And I just thought this was very beautiful.
I want to honor God in all that I do. I want to be a great husband, a great father. I want to serve this country. I want to try to continue to lead this movement and to speak truth and to never lie. To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself.
I'm so inspired. This army of freedom fighters, we're going to be around for the next 100, 200 years because we know in the end, our ideas will win.
God should be the most important thing in your life. But then beyond that, it's getting married, having children, building families.
My kids are my most important thing in my world. My wife and my kids and my relationship with God, the top 3 things.
And the more often that you choose the deep, the difficult, but the right path over the easy path is one that will reward you, your family, and this beautiful nation. I want to...
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. And that's what it was all about, man. Exalting the name of Jesus, making, honoring Charlie's legacy and giving families something wholesome to compete with the degeneracy that we're exposed to day in and day out. So there are people that are clowning on it. There are people that are laughing at it. There are people that are mocking Turning Point. But I'm proud of what they've done. I'm grateful for what they've done. And they did something that is honestly incredible. I mean, 40 to 50 million views across platforms. You got 40 to 50 million people not watching the Super Bowl halftime show and tuning out. That's great. I mean, that communicates that we're not all going to wholesale buy what they're selling. That you're not just going to be able to put on slop and just expect us all to watch it. And to pull that many viewers away from the Super Bowl halftime show is no small thing, all right? Now, my hope ultimately is that there doesn't have to be a competing halftime show. Honestly, my hope is that we could have halftime shows much like this at the actual Super Bowl. That would be my hope. I would love that. I would love to not have to tune to a different channel. But I live in reality, and I know that that's not going to happen because they want to corrupt our kids. This is a godless and corrupt generation. And because of that, I think a alternative Turning Point USA halftime show is inevitable. There will be one year after year now because it was massively successful, and now obviously it's going to grow from here. Now that people are aware, oh, you mean to tell me there's going to be 40 to 50 million people watching this thing? Okay, maybe we can move past Kid Rock. And maybe actually get some more actual stars on board. Obviously, ones that are going to promote faith and family and put on a wholesome show, and maybe we can actually build something viable here. So I'm grateful for Turning Point, and I'm just glad that we have an alternative. I want to share this guy's thoughts too, because he kind of echoes exactly kind of what I think about this halftime show.
Look, maybe I need to straighten some things out for some of y'all. The reason why TPUSA is doing an alternate Super Bowl halftime show is not because, listen, it's not because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. I know y'all want that to be the reason so you can, once again, scream about racism and all that. I know that's what you really, really want, but that's not the reason. The reason is that we are sick and tired of seeing debauchery, disgusting, anti-American, anti-family things being pushed in our faces on a day that should be for everybody. For many Super Bowls, a lot of them, and every other entertainment thing on TV, all we get is nasty, debauchery, satanic ritual style, weird stuff that a lot of Americans ain't trying to see. Believe it or not, lefties and liberals and progressives and all that, you don't live in this country by yourself. And as evidenced from the election and how the entire map was turned red, a lot of people do not agree with you. You think you're in the majority, but you're not. I mean, all you got to do is look and see how many people showed up to the memorial and how many people watched the memorial and how many people rewatched the memorial of Charlie Kirk. And you see where the majority of a lot of the people in the country, where their feelings lie. So it's for several reasons. One is, yes, we don't want to see a Super Bowl performance where the guy said, screw y'all, if you don't know Spanish, you're not going to understand it. We're going to do it all in Spanish. Excuse me, I thought this was an American English-speaking country. If you go over to his place, Puerto Rico or any other Spanish-speaking country, and do a show in, German, or you do a show totally in English and they can't understand what you're saying, you think they're going to be cool with that? But this is exactly what we're talking about. We live what we say. We're not hypocrites. We don't say that we should shut down and stop the Super Bowl altogether because it's a free enterprise, but instead we create competition. And we'll see what's going to happen on February 8th, what the numbers are going to be like for the halftime show.
Well, it was good, man. The numbers were great. So, yeah, he couldn't have said it better. Yeah, we don't want the degeneracy. We're sick of it. We're sick of it, man. It's just nauseating at this point. I just cannot stand the degeneracy. So, I'll tune out every year if I have to. I don't care. No skin off my back. I am going to pitch the alternative New Year's ball dropping ceremony, because that one's also degenerate now too. So we'll see. So obviously you had a lot of reactions and a lot of people clowning on Turning Point USA. And obviously Candace Owens sees the opportunity. And here she is. I keep pressing my OBS buttons and I don't have them. Here she is saying conservatives are now fully deluding themselves and paying influencers to invert reality. To what end? It's like watching a bad rerun of Hillary Clinton's Too Big to Fail campaign. Reality, you lost the Super Bowl narrative. Bad Bunny had an objectively successful performance. Okay, metrics-wise, yeah. Lots of people watched him, whether you like it or not. There's something else that she says that I want to... There's more of this tweet that I want to comment on, because I do think it's very telling of where Candace Owens lies at this point in time. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So here's the whole tweet. More reality. The majority doesn't agree with ICE shooting people in the face in Minnesota. Even more reality. The collapse of the Republican Party has everything to do with Christian Zionism and its perceived hypocrisy. You can hate me all you want for telling the truth, but I won't change it. This was very telling for Candace, actually, because notice the way she frames this, okay? She is framing this to appeal to leftists by claiming ICE is just going around shooting people in the face. Oh, is that what they're doing? They're just going around randomly shooting innocent people? I think not. No. But you can tell here now that her grift is starting to switch. She's starting to move away from just grifting off of conservatives and now switching over to peeling off leftists as well, because she doesn't have any actual allegiance. Jeremy Boring said it himself. He asked her what she believes, and she said she believes what the people believe. So she will adapt and mold to whatever they want to hear, because she doesn't actually give a damn about the truth. She doesn't. She only cares about the grift. She only cares about ultimately herself, because this is narcissistic behavior. And there is somebody that was debating me, and they're like, Obama and Biden and all these other previous presidents were able to deport millions of people, and nobody was getting shot. Yeah, good point you have there. Maybe also it wasn't because we didn't have leftist agitators disrupting ICE operations when they were deporting people. It's only happening now. So when you have people actually interfering with deportations, guess what? You might get shot. It's a very real possibility. I was thinking about this. If you applied this to literally any other law enforcement officer, if you tried to prevent them from arresting somebody, you would probably get shot. Imagine you're on an airplane, all right? And you're flying, and someone stands up and says Allah Akbar, and you have a air marshal draw his weapon and go to tackle this guy, and you're like, no, he's peaceful, and you try disrupting him, and you're getting in his way. or he's detained the guy and now you're trying to undo him, you would deserve to be shot. How is that any different than any other situation? All right, you don't interfere with law enforcement officers doing their job, which, by the way, is what the people voted for. We voted for mass deportations, okay? And now you have all these people coming in trying to disrupt it. And now you have Candace Owens adopting the framing that leftists use. And I believe this is a mask off moment for her. She's exposing what her end game is here, and it's just now grifting off the left because she's losing favor with the right. She's doing the same thing Ashley St. Clair is doing. Ashley St. Clair wrote, for those of you unaware, wrote a book called Birds Are Not Elephants, and it was a anti-trans piece of literature that was designed to make kids aware that you can't be something that you're not, and is good. But now she's walking that back. She got disassociated with the book. She's no longer affiliated with the book, and she's now come out in full support of the trans movement because she lost all favor with the right. They don't want anything to do with her. Well, Candace is doing the same exact thing. It's the same playbook. And if you haven't caught on, then you are not paying attention. If it isn't obvious, then you are not paying attention. This woman does not give a damn about the truth. Another thing that really baffles me is that people are like, she was Charlie's best friend. By her own admission, she claimed that Charlie was distancing himself from her and that they had a little bit of a falling out because they had a disagreement about money. Shocker. Same issue she had with the Daily Wire too. I remember too, I actually think the real reason, and I said this at the time she left the Daily Wire or she started spurging out on the Jews, was not because she had an issue with Israel. I don't think she cares. I think she wanted to get out of her contract, and she was willing to do anything possible to part ways with the Daily Wire after she found out what the Daily Wire offered Steven Crowder. I really think that is why Candace started to burn that bridge with the Daily Wire. And that has been my theory all along, is that she was pissed that she wasn't getting the same type of offer and was like, all right, well, I'm going to try to burn my bridge here. And, she's proved over and over again that there's no low she won't sink to. And here she is now actually calling for the police to question Erika Kirks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen enough. Erika Kirks should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, you can show me the person who disagrees with me on that after...
I disagree with you.
I will reveal to you what we can now confirm. You can show me that individual.
Her confirmations is that Erika's assistant had a bad feeling about going to UVU and didn't go. Okay. So what? There are people that had bad feelings about going to 9/11 on the day of 9/11. Sometimes I have bad feelings about going to work some days. My wife had a bad feeling about driving home one day and she ignored that bad feeling and got into a car accident. It's called intuition. It's called the Holy Spirit. And sometimes it speaks to us and warns us about things in advance. And this is rich too, coming from the same person that claims that Charlie visited her in dreams and can astral project and that lights flickered while Charlie was around. And that is confirmed to be true. But this is the same person that thinks, oh, it's unreasonable to not want to go to UVU because of a bad feeling. Shut up.
I will show you a full blown fraud. That's the only people that would disagree with that assessment. I said to my team this morning that the amount of evidence that is now piling up, I would say against Erika Kirks, is almost akin to an NBC.
What evidence? Sorry, I'm getting mad. I'm getting angry. She makes me so angry. What evidence, Candace? What evidence? Your feelings don't count as evidence.
Dateline episode, except it's actually more simplified than that. Like Dateline, that show is way too complicated. We're effectively now playing a toddler's game of Blue's Clues. Now, for my international friends who don't know what Blue's Clues is, it's a child's program here in America where toddlers follow along a massive blue dog as he puts his paw prints on certain clues around a house, 3 clues, and they try to put together a picture in the end. What is Blue trying to say? Let's take out our handy dandy notebook and see what Blue is trying to say. Saying. Here's the mail that never fails. Okay, if you are an adult that is capable of basic logic, then I can tell you that Blue's Clues is probably not for you because it's not that exciting. It's pretty obvious, you know. Discovering that 1 + 1 = 2 is a very elementary concept, and that's effectively what that show is. And we are now arriving at that moment with Erika Kirks, and I'm going to tell you why. So yesterday and last week, we introduced to you Erika's best friend for over 15 years, a woman by the name of Tracy Martin. Now, we were working off of a tip that Tracy may have been with Erika when Erika got the call from Elizabeth and Mikey McCoy, because they were both on the phone, even though that was never revealed to the public until later. Tracy, I am told, because she's privatized her public profiles, but I am told that she has denied that claim. Okay, let's assume Tracy's telling the truth and that she was not with Erika on September 10th. That's not even relevant to what we're about to reveal to you, because what Tracy cannot deny is that her daughter is indeed Erika's assistant. I've confirmed that.
Oh, Erika had an assistant. Mind-blowing.
And I want to be very clear here that this young woman did nothing wrong. She's not done anything wrong. I'm intentionally choosing not to name her daughter because I don't want people to stalk her, to reach out to her, or to try to learn anything about her life.
Because she knows her fans are insane and would do that. They would do that.
She, like I said, has done nothing wrong. And in many ways, she's just beginning her life, okay? She doesn't get to choose who her parents are. And who among us would not jump at an opportunity to go work with the wife of the CEO of a massive student organization like Turning Point USA? You would accept that job gleefully. That's a wonderful opportunity in life. So I just want to overstate here that this young woman needs to be left entirely alone, okay? Choosing not to name her. However, it is a fact that she was supposed to go to UVU on September 10th. I remind you, this is Erika's assistant. And it sort of tracks, given Erika's public admission, that she too was considering going. But remember, Charlie told her, home needs you. Home needs you. So she was instead going to go meet him at the next event, which was in Colorado, slated for later that week. Charlie did not want her to go to the UVU event because the kids needed her. Home.
That's actually a very reasonable thing. Like sometimes I can't, like there will be weekends I can't do something because my wife would need me at home. But then there are other weekends where I can do something because my wife has extra support from her parents that she would not ordinarily have on certain weekends or something like that. Like that's a very normal thing. But she makes innocuous things, like just normal things, seem like a conspiracy. Why didn't she go? Didn't her kids need her? It's like, why didn't they need her the next weekend? Maybe she had childcare. I don't know. There's like a million different reasons. Maybe Charlie wanted her to stay home because he had other things that he wanted her to focus on. And then the next week she'd be free to focus on being with him in Colorado. Like, not everything is a conspiracy. But she makes everything a conspiracy. And that's why people are so invested in it, because she makes everything a conspiracy.
Needs her. But he totally wanted her to become the chairman and the CEO of the company in his absence. Right? Yes, like that totally tracks. That makes perfect sense. Anyway.
Yeah, it does.
But the reason that Erika's assistant and her mother Tracy, Erika's best friend, told people in their orbit something quite interesting, actually. The reason that they told her that they didn't go is different from the reason that Erika didn't go, obviously. Tracy and her daughter told people that Tracy had a bad feeling. Like I told you, we confirmed that. Tracy had a bad feeling, and so she stopped her daughter from going to UVU. This is now confirmed. It's a fact. So let me carefully unpack to you why that is bananas. The day before,
There's nothing bananas about it. There's nothing unreasonable about that, actually. But she wants to grift, and she wants to lie, and she wants to... she's also accusing Turning Point of faking their halftime numbers and saying they botted the whole thing. But let's listen to what Graham Allen has to say, because he says otherwise.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have exclusive information absolutely destroying the Candace Owen narrative that Turning Point faked their viewers, saying that the views to comment ratio do not make sense. Just like I reported earlier today, here is the actual analytics. You will see that the number 59% was on TVs.
Oh, yeah. And you want to know what doesn't happen when you're watching these events on TVs like I was? You can't comment. You can't do live comments when you're watching something on TV. Unless you're pulling out your phone and commenting on your phone while watching on TV. Normal people they don't do that. We're watching the performance.
People were watching it on their TVs, Candace. That's why the comments don't match the views, because they were watching it on their TVs. This is what actual evidence looks like. Turning Point USA not only dominated and sent a shockwave through the world, and especially the NFL, and apparently Candace Owens, they have the #1 live stream of all time.
That's incredible.
Absolutely incredible. This is real evidence. These are real facts. Absolute staggering numbers. Breaking news.
That is crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that is crazy. So she's wrong there, and turning that into conspiracy about everything's once you understand with Candace Owens that literally everything is conspiracy, her appeal wears off, and you understand that she will literally take everything and just make it a conspiracy. And that's what makes her so, entertaining, is that people are people like conspiracies. I myself love a good conspiracy. I enjoy a good conspiracy. So it's very easy to go down those rabbit holes. But not everything is a conspiracy. And that's the point. Not everything is conspiracy, and you don't need to be conspiracy theorist to realize that Candace Owens is a shameless grifter. Okay, moving on from that, I want to talk about some of these ads, because the Super Bowl had some interesting ads. I'll play one of the more soulless ones first, and then we will go through some of the others. This is probably the point in YouTube where I'm going to get shut down. The stream is going to get the axe, so it is what it is. So here's an ad, very clearly AI. You could just tell it's like just bad AI. And they think we'll be impressed with this. No one's impressed with this. This is just awful. It's just awful. Oh my God. It sucks so much. Oh, by the way, for those of you watching, if you have any ads or something that I don't pull up that you think are worth bringing up, definitely share the links and I'll bring them up. There was a pro ice ad that aired during Super Bowl. I want to play that because I think that's awesome.
They're friends and neighbors, sons, fathers. They're little league coaches and veterans. They're people who love this country. These are immigration and customs enforcement officers. They are removing violent criminals from our streets and neighborhoods.
Yes, let's go.
It's dangerous and difficult work. But ICE has one mission: to make America a safer place to live. And that's what they're doing. This is law enforcement. This is ICE.
That's awesome. That's great. I don't know if that directly played the Super Bowl. I don't remember seeing it. I may have missed some commercials. Here's another one that aired for the Super Bowl. And this is about the Trump accounts. I think this is great. And I'm actually a beneficiary of the Trump accounts because my son, who's literally right here, was born this year. So we are going to get him a Trump account, which is awesome. And we'll play this ad.
Dear America,
if I start investing when I'm 16?
9, 7. It could change my future. All our future. I want to be a nurse.
Go to college.
Be a businesswoman. I can save for a house with a trampoline. 2 trampolines. This year, every American child gets an investment account. And millions will be pre-funded. That's free money. We can all expand the American dream. Sign me up.
That's awesome. Yeah. And don't you want that for your kids? You know, you want your kids to be set up and have something that you didn't have. I didn't have any fun set up for me when I was a kid. That didn't happen. I didn't start actually seriously investing into my retirement until the past 5 years. You know, so the idea of having an investment account for our children that Trump puts $1,000 in is amazing at birth. And you know, when I was filing my taxes, we were given the option for these investment accounts. I thought that is just a great and beautiful thing. Here's another ad from the Super Bowl that is very pro-life. So I like this, and we will play it. I just want to make sure I'm getting the max quality. All right. Here we go.
I know you never expected this. The voices and the anger are so loud. I know you envisioned things differently. They're telling you that you've only got 2 choices. But the truth is, there's 3. Are these options difficult? Of course they are. But you deserve to know. Adoption is an option.
I think that's great. And one thing that they do get wrong is that I don't know a single pro-lifer that wouldn't encourage adoption if you couldn't conceive children. We're pro-life. Of course we would. Of course we would. Why wouldn't we? I think that's great. You know, yeah, that's good. That's a positive development. There's another video I want to share you guys because I do think there's something profound about people just seeing babies. You can't see my baby, but because there's weirdos on the internet. But there is something profound about particularly women seeing babies. And Brittany Hugo Bloom, she's the CEO of EV Magazine. So she says, been saying this a lot. A lot of young adult women don't see babies often, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. That's true. They don't get exposed to them. But when they do, this is what happens.
I can't look down. Look at her. What's her name? She's like, yeah, why is her open? Oh my god, I need to have a kid. I need to have a. Oh my god. Oh, she's smiling. I want to take my top off and have skin to skin contact.
Yeah, she just sees a baby and she's like, all of the natural inclinations that she has are kicking in. All of her natural instincts that feminism tells her to ignore are kicking in, and this innate desire to have children is overwhelming her. And I think that's great. I think that is awesome. So, there's one more ad. This didn't actually, I don't think this actually made it into the Super Bowl, but I just think it's good. It has Jonathan Rumi in it. I like Jonathan Rumi.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Stop for a second. God has some words for you. My child, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. You are my beloved, and in you I am well pleased. I have chosen you. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Do you not perceive it? For I know well the plans I have for you, plans for your good, not for woe, to give you a future full of hope. When you call to me, I will listen to you. When you seek me, you will find me. For I am with you. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you. I will fight for you. And so, my beloved, come to me. Return to me with all your heart. For behold, I am with you always. Do not be afraid. I have called you by name. You are mine. What do you say? Let's return. Join me on Hello.
Good ad. And it's just him reading scripture. Hey, financial freedom, how's it going, brother? I hope you're doing well. We don't have all of our bells and whistles today with my OBS because I'm using Rumble Studio, but it's fine. So it's okay. All right. Yeah, I like that, man. I think there's a lot of benefit just from reading scripture, just from people hearing scripture. I'm really on board with that. I was previously on Fridays doing Bible readings. I kind of got away from it. I want to go back to that. Maybe on days that I'm not doing interviews. Which, by the way, Financial, are you coming on Friday? I got to confirm with you and Rants. I think it's this Friday. Yeah, because that'll be a good conversation. But maybe on days I'm not doing interviews, I'll continue my Bible readings, because I think the last I read was in Exodus, somewhere in like Exodus 30 we got to. But it's good, it's solid. All right. That actually sounds like a good idea. I got a couple more, but maybe I'll save them for tomorrow. It's more like pop culture stuff. That might be what I do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save the rest of these for tomorrow. And just leave this one about the Super Bowl and some of those ads. Sure, but I'm going to have to reschedule the live stream. I do. Oh, all right, dude. We'll talk. We'll figure something out, man. Let's raid somebody out. Let's do that. Let's see who is on. Oh, we'll do rants. Since rants is on. I'll raid the Tooth Entertainment. All right, do you have a link? I'll raid the Tooth Entertainment. I'll type it in. The Tooth Entertainment. Am I following this person? I am now. All right, Helldivers. Trust your judgment, brother. All right, here we go. Writing out the Tooth Entertainment. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I hope you have a very blessed night. God bless. Deuces.